What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop, the weekly video series where I bring you all the information on the hottest games coming to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, whatever they might be coming out on. We will talk about it right here, and today's headliner is the brand new World of Warcraft expansion, Battle for Azeroth. On top of that, you've got the XCOM 2 collection, a brand new Telltale Walking Dead series, State of Mind, a couple of other games. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting things off this week, we have the brand new World of Warcraft expansion, Battle for Azeroth, coming to the PC. Azeroth paid a terrible price to end the apocalyptic march of the Legion's crusade, but even as the world's wounds are tended, it is the shattered trust between the Alliance and Horde that may prove hardest to mend. As this age-old conflict reignites, join your allies and champion your faction's cause. Azeroth's future will be forged in the fires of war. So when it comes to World of Warcraft, I'm not really a big fan of it. I've played a couple of hours of it, probably. I tried the free trial and stuff like that to see if I could jump into it, but it just never really did grab me. However, when it comes to World of Warcraft and the significance that it has in the gaming community, for those that are on Twitch pretty much for the rest of the week, you are going to be seeing a lot more World of Warcraft because the entire site is basically rooted in WoW. However, that's a video for another day. More info can be found at the link down below for what the new WoW expansion actually does entail, because I couldn't do it justice even if I tried. But with that being said, the brand new expansion is coming up this week, and even if you don't play the game, there's a solid chance you are going to be seeing a lot of info about the brand new expansion because it is just so rooted in gaming culture. It's actually very impressive. Moving on to the next big release this week, we have Telltale's The Walking Dead: The Final Season coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Clementine, now a fierce and capable survivor, has reached the final chapter in her journey. After years on the road, facing threats both living and dead, a secluded school might finally be her chance for a home, but protecting it will mean a sacrifice. Clem must build a life and become a leader while still watching over AJ, an orphan boy and the closest thing to family she has left. In this gripping and emotional final season, you will define your relationships, fight the undead, and determine how Clementine's story ends. So this is the final season of Telltale's The Walking Dead. However, it has been all but confirmed that there's going to be another kind of spin-off series to come that takes place in the Walking Dead universe that picks up with a brand new cast of characters, a brand new story, because of course Clementine has been around since the first season of Telltale's The Walking Dead, a franchise that did kind of give fame to Telltale. I will also say that as far as historical significance goes, this game is actually going to be Telltale's last game to use their original engine, which is actually good news for the games going forward, but since the game was so far into development with this engine before they began development on the new engine, it's just kind of one of those things where it's the final game, this is going to be the cutoff, and so that would mean that the rest of the Walking Dead games to come from Telltale will more than likely look a little bit different and be a bit more polished, and that's not just limited to The Walking Dead. Pretty much from here on, Telltale is going to be much better, but of course that's to the detriment of the final season of The Walking Dead. So like I said, if you want to see the final series of events to end Clementine's story with Telltale, then by all means you can check out Telltale The Walking Dead: The Final Season this week when it hits PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and gradually rolls out over the course of the next few months, as Telltale games tend to do. Moving on to the next game of the day, we have XCOM 2 Collection coming to the PS4 and the Xbox One. The XCOM 2 Collection includes the award-winning strategy game XCOM 2, the War of the Chosen expansion, and 4 DLC packs, including Resistance Warrior Pack, Anarchy's Children, Alien Hunters, Shin's Last Gift, for a bundle discount. Aliens rule Earth, promising a brilliant future for mankind while secretly hiding a sinister agenda. As the leader of a guerrilla force facing impossible odds, you must ignite a global resistance to eliminate the alien threat and save the human race from extinction. So essentially, if you want to get into some strategy-based kind of gameplay, then you can check out XCOM 2 in its complete form with the XCOM 2 Collection coming this week to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Of course, this isn't a brand new XCOM game or anything. It's pretty much just a big Game of the Year edition kind of thing, even though this game never really got Game of the Year, so, yeah. And finally, we have State of Mind coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. Berlin, 2048. The world is on the brink. Lack of resources, illness caused by polluted air and water, crime on the rise, war. Governments and companies promise remedies through technological progress. Drones and humanoid robots replace humans in the public sector. Everything is interconnected. Surveillance has become omnipresent. Richard Nolan is one of the few journalists openly criticizing this development. When he wakes up in a hospital after an explosion and finds that his wife and son have mysteriously vanished, Richard realizes he and his family have become more than just bystanders in a storm of rivaling ideas pertaining humankind's salvation between dystopian reality and digital utopia. Instead, they find themselves right at the center of it. This domestic drama evolves into a thriller about a worldwide conspiracy which at its core aims to determine the fate of humanity. Could a perfect digital utopia be the answer? A virtual paradise not affected by material needs or quarrels? Could a super AI be our savior, or would it simply declare us as dispensable since it could not be taught the value of philanthropy? What will the world look like after this storm? What will remain of humanity? Overall, I like to mention games like this because, number one, I think this is a fantastic think piece because it is actually something that could happen within the next couple of decades, which is terrifying to me. But overall, I think it's a fantastic story. Now, it is going to be very dependent on your interest in the story for you to maintain interest. It's not going to be necessarily gameplay heavy when it comes to what draws you back time after time. But overall, the game looks beautiful. I love the art style of everything that's going on here. The main reason that I noticed this game is because it was coming out on so many platforms, including the Switch, so it's worth checking out if you're looking for a brand new story that kind of makes you think, a dystopian kind of setting, if you will. And I might check this one out at some point, especially if it is on sale on Steam or on PS4 at some point in the future. And there you guys go. That wraps it up for this week's episode of The Drop. If you did enjoy this episode, then by all means, feel free to drop me a like down below and sub to the channel to find more content similar to this. I have a live gaming morning show that I host every single weekday morning right here on youtube.com/SamuelAdamsMedia at 7 a.m. if you did want to check that out. Or the episodes are also saved in VOD format and podcast links are down below. However, I digress. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. Thanks for watching this week's episode, and peace.